Here we are at the last question of this dual passage science passage that concludes reading comprehension drill set number 2 at lawhub.lsac.org. And you can see we've highlighted in our prior videos as part of the process working through this pair of passages, the main ideas for the passage, and we've answered all of the other questions. So at this point, when we're reading question 13, we're going to go to whatever the specific term or location reference is and attempt to address it more directly as opposed to rereading our full highlighted sentences. So, which of the following ideas from passage A most accurately describes the subject of the last paragraph of passage B? So, we're looking for an idea from passage A that sometimes it's a little bit clunky, describes the subject of the last paragraph of passage B. So we have to go down to passage B, and we see that it's not a lengthy paragraph. So I'm going to reread this alone. And you can see we've got a pink highlight from one of our other questions. That can happen as long as it's not distracting. It's fine to have a couple of different colors when you're 7 questions into a 7-question passage. But picking up the final paragraph of passage B, however, the astrophysics community has by and large applied only the critical mode of thought to the same problem. There have been some attempts to reproduce A and T's results with mixed success. But the general attitude has been it cannot happen, therefore it does not happen, instead of the more open, if it does happen, it can happen. As a result, A and T have come to be regarded somewhat as heretics. So this is where the new is being basically stopped by the old. So we've got to find an idea from passage A, and I'm just going to keep that in mind from passage B, and I'm going to scroll up to passage A and kind of frame it up as best we can. If we've got to scroll, we've got to scroll, but we know that that paragraph in passage B we just read is concerned with a community of scientists not accepting some sort of new information. So choice A, commitment to the scientific status quo, well, that seems like exactly what's happening. Now, choice B, change in the cognitive framework. Well, no, it's not about the change. It's about sticking to what has been. Choice C, willingness to explore and accept new ideas. That is literally the opposite, so we can eliminate choice C as well. Consideration of evidence that appears to run counter to one's own views. Well, no, again, they didn't consider it. They wanted to stick to what they liked, and they basically rejected A and T as heretics at the end of passage B. And then tapping the collective resources of the scientific community. Again, they're not tapping the resources, although that's something that happens at other places in the passage. You have to recognize that it's not what is being described in the subject of the final paragraph, which is really the astrophysics community rebuking the new ideas of A and T. And that's part of why you want to leave your detailed questions until the end after you've gotten all of your main idea and even hidden main idea, no specific term or location reference questions, because you need to focus on the main idea for the big picture question task. For the detailed question tasks, you may actually have to go away from the main idea because they like to ask details that go contrary to the overall primary argument because it's hard to catch yourself when you have to select an answer choice that runs counter to what the entire main purpose of the passage or passages in this case might be. So, as always, you can select show answer at any time. You can also click on these hints for tips, strategies, and related content from lawhub.lsac.org. And of course, if we click show answer, they'll always ask you, are you sure you want to? I never get rid of that. And you can see that here it is indeed A. So practice more reading comprehension drills to improve at all types of questions, including these specific application and detail questions comparing one passage to another.